Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Careful for Spoilers. I am your host James Barnes, and today guys I'm joined once again by Brad and Blake, and we are going to be talking about a little bit of what we've been watching on Disney Plus. We're going to be going over some movie news. This is going to be an all-around super fun episode, so let's dive right in. Blake, I want to start with you, and I want to know what you've been watching on Disney Plus.
Alright, so I have it organized by TV shows, shorts, and movies. So in the TV shows I've been watching is obviously The Mandalorian, but we're not talking about that quite yet. A World According to Jeff Goldblum. The first 2 episodes of that, fantastic. He's adorable, and he's just the most like pure person, and I love that show. I've watched all of season 1 and almost done with season 2 of X-Men the Animated Series from the 90s, the greatest theme song ever made.
Yes.
If you press skip intro, then you're fucking wrong. That shouldn't even be an option. I tweeted at Disney Plus, I was like, you guys should just delete that as an option for this show. I watched the whole first season of Kim Possible. Still holds up, still an awesome show. It was great in my childhood, and it still was super funny. I've been watching Star Wars Rebels because I had like the Disney XD free trial thing, and I watched the first season of it like years ago, and then I went back and watched the so now I'm getting caught up to where I was. Movies, I've watched Treasure Planet, which is my favorite 2D animated Disney movie, super underrated. Everyone should watch that movie. Revenge of the Sith was the only Star Wars movie that I watched because I started with just the opening scene, and the first 20 minutes are so good that I had to keep watching it. It's awesome and terrible, and I love it and hated it so much. I watched Tron Legacy, great score, not a great movie, it's kind of boring even though it looks like that, and Daft Punk did the score.
Yeah.
WALL-E I hadn't seen it since theaters. It's no part of that movie is fun or enjoyable, really. It's really sad, and it's even sadder now than it was back then. I watched Who Framed Roger Rabbit for the first time last night, and that was really, really cool. I did want to talk about a movie that I watched, Avatar, because I hadn't seen Avatar since theaters. I didn't like Avatar when I saw it in theaters. I thought it was super overhyped, super overrated, and I never gave it a second chance. I owe James Cameron an apology and everyone that I've talked shit to about this movie, because it's fantastic. I think it's aged super well. The effects are awesome. It looks beautiful. I really dug the story elements. Like it's aged really well in that there's a lot of the stuff about the biology of the planet Pandora that we've now found out about our planet in the last couple of years, about how it works, and it's so weird. James Cameron seemed to have known things back in 2009 or 2005 even when he started making this movie.
The man's a genius.
Yeah, he's awesome. So that movie, I'm sorry, Avatar, you are very good. And then I watched all of the Pixar shorts, all of the new ones that they added, Float, Pearl, Smash and Grab, and Kit Bull. Kit Bull was my favorite one. They're all like 3 minutes, super easy watch. They're awesome. It's just like the same things they would put at the beginning of a Pixar movie. I thought Kit Bull was my favorite one.
I've been watching like ridiculous amounts of Spider-Man the Animated Series. I mean, you put that on there and you expect me to watch anything else? Like, seriously? Right? So I've been watching that. I've been watching a couple of episodes of X-Men along with Blake. We watched Tron Legacy and Treasure Planet together. All of the Spark shorts, the Pixar animators side project things, which were great. Kit Bull was also my favorite of those. I've watched the Forky Asks a Question shorts, which are hilarious and really good for little kids, but also really funny for the adults, just like you expect from a Toy Story short. World According to Jeff Goldblum is one of my favorite things that I've watched all year so far. I love this show. I love this man. Everything that he does is just hilarious and endearing, and it's just a fantastic show. I've watched both episodes of The Mandalorian twice now. We'll talk about that a little bit more later. I've got a lot of stuff on my need-to-watch list. I really want to start Encore. Encore looks like it's a very interesting idea of bringing back these high school productions of musicals and seeing 20-something years later, 10 years later, can they recreate what they did back then? I also added the movie Queen of Katwe with Lupita Nyong'o and David Oyelowo. I completely missed this movie whenever it came out, but I remember hearing about it. And it has a certified 93%, and nobody saw this movie whenever it came out because it was out for so little. I had every intention of seeing it and completely missed it. But as soon as I saw it was on there, I was like adding that and watching that immediately. So that's probably going to be the next thing that I watch. And I also want to watch Lady and the Tramp. I need to rewatch Avatar because of what Blake said and his reaction to it made me think, okay, maybe I should revisit that movie. So, I haven't been watching a ton of stuff on there, but what I have, it's mainly just been Spider-Man, honestly.
I'm pretty much just recapturing my childhood. Spider-Man, the animated series, Spider-Man Unlimited, Iron Man, the animated series, the Hulk animated series. I've just been going in, just clicking on random episodes because when I was a kid, I saw all of this stuff already. What else have I been watching? X-Men Evolution, the old Fantastic Four series, Gargoyles. I started Johnny's Tsunami. I forgot that movie existed, dude. Halloween Town is on there. Yes. I haven't seen it yet, but that's on my watch list. I've seen a few episodes of Avengers United We Stand. I believe that series came out in 98 or 99. I actually really like that series. It shows you Hank Pym being the leader of the Avengers, and from the story that I know from the comics of Hank Pym creating Ultron, and then Ultron creating Vision, and then all that stuff. So it's really cool, and I genuinely really, really missed it. That's pretty much what I've been watching. I'm waiting for the Mighty Ducks movies to become available. There's just so much shit coming on Disney Plus that I just need right now. Like, there's just so much great shit.
It's also overwhelming when you click on Disney Plus. The first time I opened it, I clicked on it and it came up and Bradley was sitting next to me and I said, Bradley, I want to watch every single thing that's on the screen right now.
Yeah.
And when you're in this world of all these different streaming services and Netflix, you go on Netflix and it's 70% shit that you've already seen and 30% shit you would never watch. And then they got Stranger Things. And then HBO will have like 3 movies on there at a time that are good or worth watching. And this service has thousands of movies at launch that are all worth watching and worth your time.
Yeah, I mean, right now, you're only paying $7 a month for all of this shit. You have everything that you could possibly want. Well, for most of us, anyway. And then there's so much shit coming in 2020, 2021. They've announced so many cool shit that's coming to Disney Plus. And on that note, let's move into some more of our movie news. Disney Plus hit 10 million subscribers in 24 hours. How fucking crazy is that?
That is insane. But it makes sense. It's like, whenever you have all of these options on there to watch, like, how could you not sign up for it?
Yeah, I mean, you got a free trial and then it's $7. Like, how do you say no to that? They release everything that's in the vault. It's everything you could want from Disney all in one spot.
Well, and think of how many users that means. That's easily like 30 million users on there because of families and people sharing their information with each other. I mean, four devices can stream up to at the same time with it. So, like families are sharing their information with each other. So it's got to at least be 30, 40, 50 million people that are using the service on top of the subscribers that they have. It's insane.
Yeah, because I have a profile, my girlfriend has a profile, my mom has a profile, and I'm just one subscriber. So you definitely have a point, yeah.
Yeah, we've already got all 7 on ours. The 7
shit.
Yeah, no, it got full within 2 hours of signing up for it. It was totally full.
That's really generous, though. For $7 to give you 7 profiles?
Yeah.
That's nuts.
It's insane. It's one of the best values that I've seen on a streaming service yet.
Yeah, no, did you guys expect it to hit like 10 million so quickly, or did you think it would take a little bit longer?
I mean, it makes sense. It's Disney. Disney is a brand that has something for everyone. And mainly because they own fucking everything. So it only makes sense that their stuff would be something that people want en masse.
Now I want to talk about the Spider-Man movies not being on there. Like, how do you guys feel about that? Do you think that it's fine that they're not on there because technically Marvel Studios, they don't own Spider-Man to put them on their streaming service? What do you guys think?
It totally makes sense to me. Infinity War isn't on there because Netflix owns the streaming rights to it for the next 10 years, I think. So Infinity War is not going to be on there for a long time. There's just different things. I guess It makes sense. Sony owns those movies. They belong to Sony. Sony doesn't really want to play nice with Marvel. They don't like each other very much, or Disney at least. It took a lot to make that deal actually happen. They weren't even going to make any more movies, so I guess it makes sense that they're not on there.
Yeah, I agree. I'm bummed that they aren't on there, but I own them already on digital, so it's like I'm not missing out on having them. Now, it sucks for the people that are trying to maybe have missed some of the Marvel movies and they're using Disney Plus to kind of play catch up. But I mean, it makes sense that they're not there. They're not Disney movies.
Yeah, it makes complete sense. Like, I want them on there because I want to see, it's 22, 23 movies now. I want to see them all in one spot, and I can just go and click on each one. But it is what it is. You're going to have licensing issues. You're going to have stuff like this. Maybe they didn't know when they made that deal with Netflix that they were going to make Disney Plus. Who knows what's going to happen in the event of like Infinity War. Who knows what's going to happen with that. But Disney Plus is a great service. I'll say it again, $7 a month for everything that you get, and then you're getting so many different shows and movies are going to be coming out next year, the year after that, and so on and so forth. Do you guys see them raising the prices? And if you do, what are you willing to pay?
I said this before the service even came out. Like, I would pay more. I pay for HBO, which is $15 a month. I would gladly pay for more because HBO, I get like one show on at a time that's worth watching, right? And I pay for that all year round, $15 a month, and it's still worth it. It's still a good enough deal because their shows are good enough. This has thousands of movies and television shows that are endlessly rewatchable. I would pay $16, $17 a month for it. Like, honestly, especially with the Marvel stuff. I mean, if you're going to put on shows that are going to be in the continuity, then $20 I'd pay for it because I have to see it. I pay $20 a month for A-List. Like, I pay $20 a month for that.
Yeah, fair point.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely be willing to pay the same amount that we pay for HBO or Showtime or any of those other services that are $15, $16 a month. But I'm glad that it's not that expensive. It's it's awesome that it's as inexpensive as it is. But I'd be willing to pay double what they're charging right now.
Yeah, easily. I would easily pay $17.99 for this service. Like I said, everything you have right now, everything that's coming, it's all going to pay for itself. HBO Max is going to be another killer. I believe that one's like $17.99, but that's worth it to me. I mean,
it's just $14.99.
It is
HBO Max, yeah. It's the exact same price that it is for HBO now.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, I can't wait for HBO Max. It's going to be insane. So let's move on to our next news topic. I want to talk about Brooklyn Nine-Nine getting renewed for season 8. Now, are you guys fans of Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
I watched the first season and I didn't love it. Everyone tells me to keep watching it. I'll go back to it at some point.
Okay. Damn.
I've watched the first couple of episodes of season 1. Really enjoyed it, but then I don't remember, something else came along and I didn't end up keeping with it. But I love everyone who's involved with this show. Like, everyone in the cast, I'm a huge fan of. I know she's no longer on it, but Chelsea Peretti is one of my absolute favorite comedians
she's so
ever.
Funny.
So yeah, it's a show that I've constantly had like on my to watch list.
Dude, I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine so much, and why I had to put it on our news list. I saw my girlfriend was off on a trip for like 3 days. I binged the 6 seasons that was on Hulu. I just binged them all. That was the only thing I watched from morning to night while I was here by myself, and I fucking love this show so much. Brooklyn Nine-Nine is one of the funniest shows I've ever seen. I would put it up there. Like, obviously, The Office is always going to be number 1 for me, but I would put Brooklyn Nine-Nine as number 2. I've seen the entire series like 3 times. It's so fucking funny to me. And Blake, you guys both have to go back and watch the whole thing. It's just so fucking funny. It just gets funnier and funnier and funnier with every season.
I believe you. I mean, everyone. It's, again, both Brooklyn Nine-Nine and The Office. I've watched the first season of each of those. Liked it, didn't love it, and everyone tells me to keep watching it because it just keeps getting better. And I've just never. There's so much. It's also overwhelming. There's so many other shows that I watch. They're on my list. They've been on my list. It's been on my Hulu watch list for 3 years now. I just haven't gotten around to it.
Dude, I love The Office so much. I think my girlfriend and I have seen The Office in its entirety maybe 5 times, and that's 8 seasons. Like, it's so fucking good. As soon as you start it, it ends, and it's like, well, start back at episode 1 and just start over again. It's just so fucking funny. It never gets old. I can't recommend it more. So, Brad, you brought this to my attention. Halloran. I did not know anything about plans for this movie until we were talking about what show notes we wanted to have for the show, and you brought this up, so I want to start with you and tell me your thoughts on this movie. Do you think it's still going to happen, even though Dr. Sleep isn't doing as well as it should? Like, give me your thoughts.
It's one of those that I think that it would work on a much smaller budget than what they did for Dr. Sleep, because you don't really have to do something as grand as you did before. Like, Dick Halloran is a man that is such an interesting character. I would much rather it be a character study movie than a big set piece movie like Dr. Sleep was. Dr. Sleep had great character development in it, but it ultimately was all leading to that giant set piece at the Overlook. But I would love to further explore this universe and further expand this story, because I love the concept of The Shining. And that ability. And if they brought back the actor that played him in this, I thought he was fantastic. He wasn't doing a Scatman Crothers impression, but he was playing Dick Halloran as I know him in the book. I thought they did a really good job of making him kind of a ghost instead of him, because he survived in the Shining book, and so he actually is interacting with a young Danny again. So I loved the way that they kind of incorporated this into making it more of a sequel to the original The Shining movie rather than the book, but still paying respect to the book that it came from. So I love the character of Dick Halloran. I would love to see more from him. I think that the only way that this movie is happening is if they do it on a shoestring budget because of the financial failure of Dr. Sleep, which is so unfortunate because the movie's incredible.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me that it's not making money. Right now, it's only at $53 million, which is fucking absurd.
What?
Yeah, dude, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
I haven't been paying attention to the box office, and this is breaking my heart right now.
Yeah,
this movie was so good.
Yeah, Midway. Fucking Midway is making more money than Dr. Sleep.
Fuck Roland Emmerich. Honestly, he can go fuck himself. Can't stand that guy's movies.
Yeah, I just don't get why this film isn't making the money it deserves. $53 million is insulting, and I would love to see a Halloran series. Fuck it. Because we don't know what things were like when he was Danny's age, when he learned about his shine from his grandmother.
From his grandmother, yeah.
Yes. So that's the stuff that I would love to know. I would love an 8-episode mini-series somewhere of that. I think that would be really cool, instead of trying to stick too many things into a 90-minute movie that might not be interesting for audiences. Blake, what are your thoughts?
I was about to mention that I would like to see it as one of those, Netflix in the last couple of years has been doing these 4-part miniseries kind of things. I would love to see a 4-part miniseries in any context set in this universe. I want a full-length series. I want an HBO show. I want all of it because everything is so fascinating in this universe.
Netflix loves them some Mike Flanagan, too.
Yep.
So that could definitely be a home for it.
Dude, on the topic of Mike Flanagan, I have just been going over all of his movies, and this guy is a fucking genius.
Have you watched Hill House?
Yeah, oh yeah. I saw my girlfriend and I saw Hill House twice. We watched the whole thing twice. It's fucking amazing. All of the Easter eggs that are hidden in there, the hidden ghosts, the storytelling, the camera movements, the dialogue. It's just a phenomenal piece of work. I saw Before I Wake. That film is fucking phenomenal. I don't know what took me so long to see that film. It's incredible. I saw Ouija Origin of Evil again this morning. I fucking love that movie. Flanagan is a genius director. Anything he touches is just perfection. I have yet to see a film of his that I don't think is just phenomenal. I just had to say that about Flanagan.
I completely agree with you. I think that he is horror directors right now, between him and Ari Aster and Jordan Peele.
Oh, yeah.
James Wan.
Just it's amazing. We are living in a renaissance of the best directors working today are almost all in horror, in my opinion.
Robert Eggers in there. I know you're not a huge fan of his stuff, but I think Robert Eggers is definitely one of those directors that is at the top of the game right now.
Yeah, you can't deny how good he is at directing. His movies are just a little too fucked up for me.
I love fucked up movies.
Yeah.
Anything that can get a reaction from me, I want it. I like weird, interesting movies that just aren't the norm, because we get enough of those fucking movies. So, Brad, this was another one that you brought to my attention. Paramount is doing another film with Damien Chazelle called Babylon, and this cast is really interesting. So I want to start with you again and get your thoughts on this film.
Yeah, so we got Emma Stone and Brad Pitt in a movie about the silent film age. So from what I understand, Emma Stone would be playing a starlet, and I'm not sure what Brad Pitt's role is going to be in this movie. But I love both of these actors so much. Love Damien Chazelle. I'm really excited to see his new series that he has coming out. I can't remember if it's on Netflix. I think it's on Netflix that he has coming out next year. So we won't be getting this film until 2021. But anything that this guy does, I am there to see. This is another director that I think he has yet to make a bad thing. Everything that I've seen from him is fantastic, so this is one that I'm really, really excited for.
Yeah, I mean, the cast and the director, like, I'm sold instantly. And just the concept of it, the fact that it's taking place around this transition period from the silent era of films, like, I want to see something really cool in that world, and I know this guy can do it. So, Blake, what are your thoughts on this?
So, Damien Chazelle is my favorite young director, period. I was making a list the other day on IMDb of what I think are the top 50 movies of the decade, and he was the most frequent director on there. He had Whiplash, La La Land, and First Man. I had all three of those in my top 50 of the entire decade. This man is a genius. Whiplash and La La Land are two of the best movies I've ever seen. La La Land may be the greatest musical of all time, in my opinion. I know that may be ridiculous because it's so new, but I'm not a huge musical guy, but La La Land just got to the core of me. It affected me. I saw it like 5 times in the theaters. Whiplash like changed my life, the way that I look at movies and the way that I look at teaching and everything. This guy's incredible, and I cannot wait to see anything he does because like I said, he is perfect. Everything he's touched so far has been a 10 out of 10 gold movie for me.
So I still haven't seen La La Land.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, I still haven't seen it. It was on my list. I was like, yeah, I'm going to get to it at the end of the year, right before Oscar season. Didn't end up watching it.
It's a masterpiece.
Still haven't seen it. You think so?
I genuinely think so. I think it is one of the top films of the decade, just like Blake was talking about. I actually found one of the pop figure duos of Mia and Sebastian in the tap dance sequence from the pop figure like movie scenes thing that they do.
Yeah.
At a local comic book store, and immediately saw it and was like, no, I gotta buy this. It's one of those movies that there's not a lot of merch out there for, but if I saw more La La Land merch, it would be like, oh shit, I gotta buy that.
Okay,
it's one of those movies that I just absolutely love. I'll rewatch over and over and over again.
Especially if you're a fan of like movies and Hollywood and actors and things like that. It just like it's so perfect. It's made just for the movie nerds. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's on my list. I just need to make the time and watch it because I love Whiplash. I think Whiplash is a fucking phenomenal movie.
Yeah,
I just need to make time and see it.
Have you seen First Man?
Yes.
Love
First Man.
Yeah.
People complain that it's a slow burn. I like slow burns. I thought it was a great movie.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So next up that I wanted to talk about, shifting gears a little bit. So Joker has finally hit the $1 billion mark, and I think this is amazing news. This is the prime example of what happens when you take a good director, a good story. You don't have to have a ridiculous budget, and you can make one of the greatest comic book movies ever. I went on record on my Joker podcast, and I said that Joker is my favorite comic book movie of all fucking time. I think this film is literal perfection, and it has become the most profitable comic book movie in history compared to what it's made to its budget. So, Blake, I'll start with you. What are your thoughts on this news?
So, this makes me so happy beyond belief. I can sit here and talk about how great the Joker is, but everybody's done that. It's a perfect movie. There's nothing wrong with it. It makes me so happy that it proved all of those horrible movie journalists wrong that were trying to kill this movie. They were trying their absolute hardest to shut it down. They were trying to scare people from going to the theater, and we said, no, fuck you. We're going to go see this movie we want to see. Everyone told everybody it's great. Everyone out to the theater had a great time. Fans loved it. Critics tried to hate on it because they thought that it was too dangerous. There is so much. Everything's going against this movie. Even what's his name, Todd Phillips, the comments he made right before the movie and pissing off the SJW Twitter, movie Twitter kind of area of the world. Everything went against this movie, and it still made $1 billion because it's that damn good.
Yeah, it speaks to the quality of the product. It's one of those movies that had everything stacked against it, like Blake was talking about, and it's amazing that it's done as well as it has. I think that it's going to make more people willing to take risks in their movies and willing to kind of put their neck out there like Todd Phillips did. And I mean, it's amazing. It's what was the budget for the movie? It was like $50 million or something like that. Yeah. And it's made $1 billion. It is insane, and it's the first R-rated movie to cross this threshold as well. It's crazy. It's one of the most successful movies of all time, and it deserves every bit of it that it's getting.
Yeah, I think this film, and this is just my personal opinion, and we haven't seen all the movies this year, but I think it should just fucking clean up at the Oscars. I think Joaquin should win for Best Actor. I think this film has the best score of the year. Hands down, no games, no comparisons. I think this has the best score I've heard so far. I think it should win for screenplay. I think it should just fucking clean up.
Cinematography.
It
too. Just won at a cinematography festival. Won the top award. It's crazy. Like, every part of this movie is so perfectly done.
Yeah, I think every single shot in this movie is perfectly framed. It's just amazing. The score is perfect. Everything about this movie is perfect to me. I fucking love this movie so much, and I'm so glad to see that it's making so much money, because like you said, Blake, there's so much hate around this movie, and so much people want to hate it and want to create their own narrative for why people shouldn't see this movie. No, fuck you. This movie's awesome. People are seeing it, and it's being appreciated. I wish this would happen for a lot of other really great movies too, like The Lighthouse, Parasite. Those films should be billion-dollar films. Those are phenomenal movies that aren't getting the recognition that they deserve. Like, what do you guys think?
Everyone who is listening to this right now and everyone who has access to a movie theater needs to see Parasite. That's what I think about that.
Yeah. I could not agree with that more. Parasite is my number one of the year so far.
Okay, so it finally made it to number one for you.
It did. It is unbelievable. There's so much to be said about Parasite, and so much will be said about Parasite. Me and Blake will definitely be talking about that very, very soon.
Yes. We have some things coming in the works for you guys on the Careful for Spoilers podcast network, so keep your eyes peeled for that one. So the next news topic that I wanted to talk about was, Blake, your boy, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, finally gave us a fucking release date for Black Adam. He was cast as Black Adam like 5 or 6 years ago. Mm-hmm. Like, it's ridiculous that it took up until now to get a release date. So, Blake, I want to start with you. What are your thoughts on this?
So, anytime that my best friend Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson posts on Instagram, I stop what I'm doing and I read what he says, because he always posts just beautiful like paragraphs or essays about whatever he's talking about. And this one, he's talking about what Superman meant to him as a kid and what superheroes meant to him as a kid and what it means to play that now. I love how sincere he is about everything. I love how honest he is. I love how nice he is. I love how well spoken he is. This movie is going to be awesome. I think Shazam is, other than Man of Steel, I think it's the best out of any of the DC movies, the DC Universe movies that they made. I think Shazam's fantastic, and I'm really excited to see like more in that universe, because if it feels anything like Shazam, or if it's as good as Shazam, then I'm gonna love this movie, because it's got my best friend in it.
So I don't want this movie to feel anything like Shazam.
Okay.
I don't have any issues with Shazam. I don't want to put that out there, but I think Black Adam needs a different take. Mm-hmm. I don't think the snarky, quick-witted kind of thing works for Black Adam. I think it would be a twist, because Black Adam can seem one note at times depending on what comic you're reading, but I don't want it to go that route. I think that's a little too humorous for what I'm looking for in my Black Adam. But I mean, if it's Dwayne Johnson, he'll make it work. He's so charismatic. He's so fucking funny. I'm sure he'll make it work. Whatever they decide to do, it's going to be awesome. I believe his production company put money into making Shazam, correct?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, so that's only going to help make this movie, and who knows what's going to happen. I'm really excited for it. Brad, what are your thoughts?
I'm excited to see The Rock play a bad guy.
Yes.
I'm hoping he actually plays him as a bad guy, though, because it's so easy to go the anti-hero route, which is what they do with everything.
Which is probably what's going to happen. But looking at the concept art that he posted, it's like, shit, he looks terrifying as Black Adam, and that's what I'm excited
as he
for.
Should.
Do you know who made that poster, actually? Boss Logic.
Boss Logic did
and Jim Lee.
Yeah, The Rock reached out to them personally and asked them to make that for him.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, he looks so fucking cool. This is exactly how I thought he would look as Black Adam. It's fucking insane.
Yeah, I am so excited for this. Them giving it a release date in December and right before Christmas shows how confident they are in this movie. So I'm there for it.
Is there going to be a Star Wars movie? Has there been any announcements around this time for 2021?
No, they said that after what is it, Rise of Skywalker? After Rise of Skywalker, they're taking a 5-year break before the next movie.
I know that they're just taking a hiatus after. Gotcha. I don't know how long it is.
And I think they should. I think they should focus on the series that they're doing. Because, The Mandalorian's fucking great. Just keep going along that track, make great stories. This is a good point for us to talk about our review of The Mandalorian Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. I thought The Mandalorian was fucking incredible. The visuals are amazing. Pedro Pascal as this Mandalorian, I'm instantly locked in. He's stoic. I've heard a lot of people say, he doesn't get a lot of lines in the first episode. I'm like, he got enough lines.
Yeah.
He says everything that he needs to say. Yeah. His first line of dialogue in the first episode, what does he say? I can take you in warm or cold?
Warm or cold, yeah.
I was like, oh shit, that's fucking badass. Everything he does is badass. I love that within these 2 episodes, you've learned pretty much almost everything that you need to know about the Mandalorians. They don't remove their helmets. Keeping their weapons is a part of their religion. All of these different things, the way they treat their armor. There's so many things that you've learned about Mandalorians just from these 2 episodes, and I think it's handled so well. And I'll go into some more details, but I want to hear from you guys first. So who wants to go first to talk about Chapter 1 and 2 of The Mandalorian?
All right, so it's only 2 episodes, but I'm gonna say it. This is the best thing to happen to Star Wars since the prequels. 100%. This is better than any of the ones Disney's made, any of the movies that they've made, any of the video games that have come out in decades. This show is incredible. I can't believe how good the world building is within the Star Wars universe that we all know every detail about. There's still world building in there, and they're still introducing you to new ideas, and it's still interesting. I love that Dave Filoni, in his first live action directorial debut, got to do the first live action Star Wars series. That's beautiful. I'm really, really happy for him. I'm happy that Disney gave him the opportunity to do that, because I've been wanting this guy to be in Kathleen Kennedy's position essentially for years now. I think that he knows Star Wars better than anyone other than George Lucas. I think the 2 of them know Star Wars like the back of their hand, and I think that he executed this perfectly. Favreau running the show, you see his footprints on it. It's amazing. You see some of the way that he shoots things. Whenever they're fixing the ship up in the second episode, it feels very Iron Man.
Yeah.
The baby, I know he's not Yoda, but baby, I don't know what to call him, but Baby Yoda is the cutest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life.
100%.
It might even be cuter than my little baby nephew, and I can't believe I said that. But it's when he falls on that little frog, I cannot stand it. It's the cutest thing I've ever seen. And like you said, you learn everything you need to know about a Mandalorian in the first episode, and then into the second episode, Nick Nolte.
I have spoken.
Nick Nolte, basically, it just kind of looks like Nick Nolte. It's just a short Nick Nolte, basically. And I think it's awesome. The puppet work in this is fantastic. The scene with the Jawas in the second one, I love me some Jawas, and they're eating the egg. It's hilarious. There's some good humor in there. this feels like when I was a kid, I would go to the library, right, and we would have to do some homework there. What I would do instead of homework was I would go to the Star Wars aisle and I would grab a Star Wars book, an expanded universe book, and then just start reading it. This feels like those expanded universe books that I read in the library when I was a kid. This feels like when I am in my head, even when I watch the movies, I'm like, I wonder what else is going on out there. I wonder what bounty hunters are doing. I wonder what this is happening. I wonder what's going on with the Mandalorians. This is it. Like, this is exactly what I wanted and better somehow. I'm so happy it exists.
Yeah, dude, I've come to a point where I don't fucking care about the Skywalkers anymore. I just want to learn more about Star Wars. This galaxy is so vast. I want to learn more about everything else. Now, for those of you that don't know, The Mandalorian takes place about 5 years after Revenge of the Sith. So the Empire...
Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi. Whoa. Yeah, you know what I meant. I'm thinking of Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah.
But in that case, I actually think it's closer to 10 years, isn't it?
I think
it's
six. They said 6
Something
years.
like that. Yeah, you guys are right. So I love that the Empire has fallen, and we are just following this Mandalorian, and we've seen all of these people that he's put in carbonite. We know that he's the guy that you go to when you want to catch these people that are uncatchable. Like, this is the guy that you go to, and it's set up instantly. Now, you cast Carl Weathers. I don't trust him instantly.
Yeah.
Brad, I want to hear your thoughts.
I am in love with this series so far. I absolutely love it. I think it's everything that I wanted out of a Star Wars expanded universe series like this. It's got Western elements to it that I love, that are all throughout the original trilogy, and then you kind of lose that space Western element as the prequels come around, and not so much in the Disney movies, but this almost feels like a straight up Western in that first cantina sequence, that guy telling him that you spilled my drink and him just staring straight ahead. It feels like straight out of Red Dead Redemption, but somehow it's in Star Wars, and I love that.
Yeah.
I love that Dave Filoni, like Blake was talking about, has gotten a chance to do something live action now, after working on the different series and being one of the biggest creative minds about the expanded universe that we have out there as far as canon is concerned now. I loved that the director of Dope did the second episode, which was great. The second episode was so much fun. The first one was it completely sucking me in, and then the second episode was just so much fun with the Jawas and the quest for the egg. And if I'm not mistaken, that creature looked very similar to one of the creatures that was in Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
I love the tie-ins that it has there. Like Blake was saying, the egg sequence was hilarious. Seeing the Jawas just devour this egg yolk was just so funny. And the baby Yoda is amazing. It shows furthering that every part of this species is force sensitive, and I love that. I love that the force is involved in this series, but it's not the centerpiece of it like all of the other Star Wars stuff that we have is. I cannot wait to see where it goes, and I love this cast of people. I really hope that we get more of Taika as an IG unit. My hope is that he is just the voice of IG units.
I hope so. I really hope so.
Because he was just in it so little. His character was amazing in that first episode. The shootout sequence is just so incredible. But whenever he gets capped in the head, like right at the end, I was like, whoa, okay, they better get me more of him because he's on the fucking poster for this show. Yeah. So I'm hoping that there's more of that. I'm excited to meet Gina Carano's character. I want more Werner Herzog. He was fantastic.
Dude,
and
I'm excited for Ming-Na Wen's character.
I know, right?
Oh my god, I am in love with her.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. And Bill Burr. Bill Burr is in this show
is
too.
He?
My boy, yeah.
Holy shit!
He's in the trailer. He's got like 2 guns on either of his shoulders. Looks like he was talking about it on his podcast. I listen to it every week, and he was talking about how he was like, I don't know, Jon Favreau, my buddy, wanted me to do this dumb Star Wars thing, and he starts talking shit about how awful Star Wars is, how it's only for nerds, but he did it anyway, and I don't know, it might end up being good. And I remember him talking about that years ago, and I didn't know he was talking about the Mandalorian. I just assumed it was like a voice in a video game or something as a cameo, but like no, he's got a pretty significant role in the show apparently later on.
Yeah. Dude, I wish that we knew what race Yoda was so people can stop fucking calling him Baby Yoda. I'm sorry. As a Star Wars nerd, it's just driving me insane because at this point, Yoda's fucking dead.
Yeah.
And if he was alive, he would be 1,000 years old. Like, it just drives me nuts. It's stupid because we don't have a way of calling it anything else. So it's not really that big a deal. But initially, when I first saw it, I'm like, because there are people online that think it's actually Baby Yoda. And it's like, no.
Well, half the people watching this show think that it's about Boba Fett. So
that too. What do you guys think about the rumors that this Mandalorian is Boba Fett? I think it's fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
And if it's actually Boba Fett, I will tell you right now, I will stop watching because I am looking for the expansion of the universe, not just more of the same people that I've already seen. And yes, this would mean that we're getting more cool shit with Boba Fett, but I don't want to see that. There's so many Mandalorians. Why does it have to be Boba Fett?
I don't think it will be because we saw that flashback during the scene in the armory where his family was carrying him and they were running through the town with like the blasters going off and everything, and that's definitely not Boba Fett's origin. So
yes,
I think that the rumors of them and the fan theories that this is Boba Fett just make no sense because why would they have those flashback sequences of
they could
where
tweak the canon
from?
If they wanted to.
It wouldn't make any sense. Boba Fett can't hit a shot to save his life, and the Mandalorian's capping motherfuckers left and right. So
I love that scene. I feel bad, but I love that scene when he's killing the Jawas and they just
disintegrate.
That was fucking awesome.
It made me think of whenever Darth Vader tells Boba Fett no disintegrations.
Yeah. I just thought the Mandalorian is great. The only thing that I will say that is a negative is that the episodes are not long enough.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be an hour-long show, but it's a, 40-minute show.
Yeah, it's like every time an episode ends, I'm like, no, wait, I need more.
Yeah.
At the same time, the flip side of that is, for me, like the Marvel Netflix shows, I loved them, but there's too much of them. Every season's a little too long, and the episodes are a little bit too long. So I'm happy. I would rather have not enough than too much, I guess is what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I would love it if the episodes were an hour apiece and each season is like 13 episodes. Because I think 13 hours is just perfect. Because I'm with you. With the Netflix shows, the Netflix Marvel shows, they're just way too fucking long. I feel like 13 episodes is just perfect. 13 hours, you fit in all the story you want, all the action you want, while setting up for what's coming next. I think it's the smart idea.
Aren't there 8? Are there 8 or 10 episodes?
8 episodes.
See, 8 for me, 8 is right in that sweet spot. That is like, you can't do too much in 8 episodes. Like 8 episodes, everything's tight. Everything that is there that needs to be there. That's 8 episodes is my sweet spot.
Yeah. Do you guys have any final thoughts on The Mandalorian episode 1 and 2 before we move on?
I think that if it continues down the road that it's on right now, it has potential to be my favorite Star Wars thing. I love these episodes. I've watched them both twice now and loved them even more on the rewatch.
Yeah, these 2 episodes are as good as anything Star Wars is. Like at the best at when Empire is the best that it is, and when A New Hope and Rogue One, when those are all at their best, this is just as good as them. And it's amazing. I'm so happy it exists.
Yeah, me too. Like I mentioned before, I just love that this actually expands the Star Wars universe. I don't have to look at Luke, Leia, none of these other people. I love them, but at this point, I just want more of the galaxy. I want more of Star Wars, and this feels like Star Wars, and I just need more of it. So, next topic that I want to move on to is the Sonic new trailer and character redesign. I think the new look of Sonic, he actually fucking looks like Sonic.
Yeah, go figure.
Right? That fans would actually want the character to look like, I don't know, Sonic.
Not like some terrifying anthropomorphic blue thing.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And I get the idea behind it, because when you look at a hedgehog, it looks like a hedgehog from another universe that has powers and he's sentient. I get the idea. It's just stupid. It's like, oh yeah, let's make Detective Pikachu, but we're gonna make Pikachu look like a mouse or something. It's just the dumbest fucking thing possible. So what did you guys think of the trailer and the redesign?
I thought it looked a lot better than the first trailer did. The first trailer, I wasn't sold on the movie, like even outside of the redesign, but I think this trailer looks way more fun. I'm excited to see what Jim Carrey does as Robotnik, because it's been a while since we've gotten like a goofy, over the top Jim Carrey character. He's been kind of either being crazy and doing paintings and going on Twitter rants and talking about how he's still somehow Andy Kaufman, and I'm excited to see him back in a classic Jim Carrey type of role.
So I think the trailer obviously goes without saying that Sonic looks amazing now. He looks a lot better. He looks like Sonic, so they just did the thing they were supposed to do. Part of me honestly thinks that this could have been a weird publicity stunt by the studio. Till you put this out, you make everyone freak out. A lot more people are going to see this movie now because of what they did. They changed it and it got way more attention, so it could possibly be. I've heard that theory a lot.
That's a really expensive publicity stunt.
Yeah.
Because this shit costs money to do these redesigns. Like, it costs a lot of money.
Yeah, I know. That's just a theory that's interesting that I think could be true. It could have some feet to it. I think that the trailer looks okay. Like, I still saw the first trailer, and the first trailer's terrible. Like, even without the way that he looks, if you took the first trailer and then put a new Sonic into it,
it's still bad.
It's still a really bad trailer. And so I'm stuck between, like, I'm happy that they did this, that they listened to the fans, and that they redesigned him and make him look like Sonic. This is a good trailer. The movie's not going to be... I have zero faith in this movie.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be dog shit. Like, I don't think there's any chance it's good. It's based on a video game, number one, so there you go. It's going to be bad. Do I need to see anything else? It's based on a video game.
Let me clarify. I'm excited to see what Jim Carrey does in this movie. I have zero expectations for this movie being like an actual like quality film.
I think this movie is actually going to be awesome. I think this new trailer is fucking sick. I've seen it like 6 times. I can't stop watching it. I can't stop watching this trailer. I think Jim Carrey looks really funny as Dr. Robotnik. I love the added humor that they've given Sonic. I love the scene in the trailer where he's reading every single fucking Flash comic there is. I can't wait for him to have some kind of line that says, like, be back in a Flash or something like that. I need it. This film is going to be over the top. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be a lot of fun. I feel like it knows what it is, and I'm just ready for it. I think it's going to be so much fun. I really hope it is. I was not looking forward to this movie at all, and now I am. I can't wait until February. As soon as I get tickets, I'm buying them opening night, and I have to see this fucking movie.
Fair enough.
So let's talk about a movie that I am not interested in seeing whatsoever, and that's going to be the new SpongeBob SquarePants movie. So I'm going to let you guys talk about it.
Are you not a SpongeBob fan? Or did you not watch it growing up?
I did, but I mean, I just don't care about SpongeBob anymore.
Gotcha. I think SpongeBob's hilarious. Like it all the episodes now are still hysterical whenever you go back and rewatch them. The humor works so well. Steven Hillenburg was a genius. And this is the reason I wanted to talk about this is really interesting because this is the first SpongeBob thing that's going to be made without Steven Hillenburg. He actually famously never wanted there to be any spin-offs of SpongeBob ever, and he never wanted them to do anything after he was gone. He's gone, and they make this movie immediately, and then today announced that Netflix is making a Squidward spin-off. I wanted to talk about it because of that. That's very disrespectful to me.
What?
Yeah, they announced they're making a Squidward spinoff on Netflix, and Steven Hillenburg, one of his last wishes was to never make a spinoff of anything SpongeBob.
Nickelodeon signed a deal with Netflix to start producing original content on Netflix for like classic.
I didn't know that was going to be one of the things they're doing though. What the fuck?
They announced that today.
How crazy is that?
That really, really pissed me off. I think that's incredibly disrespectful to the man that created this incredible children's show. One of my favorite children's shows. My favorite show when I was a kid. I still think it's hilarious, as I've said, but I just think it's incredibly disrespectful and weird that they're doing this to try to cash in on this guy right after he's gone. They say they're making this movie and then making a Squidward spinoff. The two things he said he didn't want to do.
But what are you going to make about Squidward, though? Like, what's the story? What is it going to be about? Why would anyone care about a Squidward movie? I don't get it.
You're asking all the right questions.
I think I will say though, I think the CG animation looks great.
I do too.
The fact that Keanu is making this really weird cameo as a
as a sage made of sage.
it's fucking nuts. I think I don't know. Like I said, SpongeBob kind of fell off for me. I won't see it. I'm sure I'll catch it on like whenever it gets on some kind of streaming service. I'll catch it then, but I'm not going to be rushing out to see it at any point really.
See, I'm a middle ground SpongeBob fan. I loved the show growing up, and then it had a point where I kind of fell off with it, and it kind of got samey. But those original, like, probably 9 seasons of the show are so funny still to me. I think that this trailer is pretty funny through and through. I don't know like how the movie's going to turn out. I completely understand what Blake's talking about. I completely agree with that as well, that it's pretty fucked up that they're doing the exact thing that he requested not happen with it. But what's driving this? Money.
Exactly.
And that's what is going to be the most important to these people that are putting the money forward to make these projects. So.
Yeah, money and licensing. It doesn't matter how you feel. The people who sign the checks and own the licensing, they get to do whatever they want.
Mm-hmm.
So the last news topic that I wanted to talk about, and I saved this for last on purpose because one of the very first YouTube videos that I ever made was talking about the DCEU and these movies and how I think that they're shit, they're not going anywhere. And then for like the past year, we have been getting people talking about release the Snyder Cut, release the Snyder Cut. And I've been saying this whole time that it's fucking stupid. Guess what? A version of the Snyder Cut exists. Let's get that out there. Mm-hmm. I acknowledge that Zack Snyder has put all of these things together. Guess what, people? The visual effects for the scenes that he wants doesn't fucking exist, okay? Maybe he's paying for them by himself, and maybe one day he might release it, but WB is not going to be the ones paying for it. They're not done. Junkie XL did the full score for it, but the music has not been placed to the film. There's other variables. WB owns this. WB will not release it. Why? Because Justice League did not make any fucking money. What do they gain by releasing the Snyder Cut? Because it's going to make fans happy? They don't know that. Mm-hmm. BVS was not well received. Man of Steel, although I think it is close to a masterpiece, was not well received. Justice League, which is an Avengers level movie, made $657 million. That's bullshit. Mm-hmm. They spent $300 million on the production budget. That doesn't include marketing, and it could be over $300 million because of all of Joss Whedon's reshoots and all of these different things. And all anyone has done on the internet is bitch about these movies for fucking years. Why would WB put money into finishing these effects, going through all of the stuff with marketing, whether it's going on a streaming service, whether it's to put it in theaters? Why would WB spend money on something that didn't make them money? And the film that they did make, fans just bitched about it for months and months and months on end, just bitching about it. Would you put your money into that?
Definitely not.
Blake, would you put your money into that?
Absolutely not.
It doesn't make any fucking sense. Now, do I want the Snyder Cut? Of fucking course I do. I love Zack Snyder. I love Watchmen. I love Dawn of the Dead. I love everything he touches, except Sucker Punch. But I love everything he touches. I think the man is a visual genius. Mm-hmm. When you look at these comic book movies that he's made, some of these scenes are literal splash pages that have just come to life. The man is a fucking genius. I want to see the Snyder Cut, but who's fucking paying for it? Who is paying for it? Zack Snyder does not have the pull to just be like, hey, I'm just going to release it tomorrow. He doesn't have the pull. And why would WB release it? They stand to gain nothing from releasing this movie whatsoever. But I've said my piece, and I'm going to pass it on to you guys. Blake, what are your thoughts on this release the Snyder Cut that's been going on?
So back when all this started, I was in the camp of the Snyder Cut doesn't even exist. And then Warner Brothers said that it did exist. And Zack Snyder says it does exist, and Momoa says it does exist.
Yeah, people have seen it, whatever.
And they've seen it, and they've seen the whole versions of it, and talked about how amazing it was. And so it just, like, I'm so conflicted because I want it, like, more than anything. I like BVS. I think the director's cut, the ultimate cut of BVS is fucking awesome. I think that Man of Steel is a masterpiece through and through, one of the greatest comic book movies of all time. I think that he makes the best looking comic book movies, period, and it's not even close. I really want to see this. I really want to see the version of the Snyder Cut. It doesn't make any sense because no one saw Justice League, because Justice League isn't a movie. Justice League is one of those movies that you watch it and you understand what Martin Scorsese meant whenever he's like, these aren't cinema.
Yes. Yes.
You watch that movie, it's like Scorsese had to have just seen Justice League and Thor: The Dark World and was just like, yeah, fuck these. And I don't blame him for that, because it's not a movie. It's not a full movie. It's half a movie, and it's really painful to watch and painful to sit through. I don't know how much better, even if the Snyder Cut, let's say the Snyder Cut comes out, let's say the visual effects, that they perfected them and they finished the movie and WB's just holding it back. One, why are they holding it back? But let's not even get into that. They're holding it back for us. They release it. How much better could it possibly be? We all saw Justice League.
Yeah.
The core of the movie's still there. The core of the movie's bad, really, really bad, and no part of it's interesting. It's abysmal. It's one of the worst comic movies that's ever existed.
Yes.
I don't see how you can make anything out of that, honestly, no matter how different it is.
I don't know, man. You can do a lot with editing, and I feel like BVS, even though I like it's the ultimate cut, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
As much as I love the ultimate cut, it could have been a better movie if it was edited even better than that, in my personal opinion. So
by editing out Jesse Eisenberg's performance completely.
Yeah.
Completely. And editing out the building of the Justice League, all of that stuff. Get it out of there and focus on, I don't know, BVS, Batman versus Superman. Like, focus on that shit. And then some of my biggest issues with Justice League is I think Ben fucking sucks in that movie. He doesn't do anything that's Batman. Like, all of the quips that he's making, it's just, this isn't Batman. What the fuck is this? You just did a great job in BVS. What the fuck is this? And I think it's a part of Ben not caring anymore. And I think it's also Joss Whedon's direction. It's like he's trying to make an Avengers movie out of the Justice League when it's too late because the tone has been set, and you're trying to retroactively switch it up, and it's fucking stupid. It is lame. I hate Ezra Miller as the Flash.
I do too.
I think his Barry Allen fucking sucks. I think Henry Cavill, his version of Superman in Justice League is just like, well, no one liked Man of Steel or BVS, so just do what Christopher Reeve would do. Just say, no, the people. I'm not going to help you fight Steppenwolf right now because I have to help this apartment building, so I'm just going to leave you here for a second. It just feels like this reactionary piece of fucking shit. Like, it's just ridiculous.
Honestly, I had no idea what his purpose was even in the movie, because I didn't hear a word he said because I was way too distracted by his upper lip. It's terrifying. That's some of the worst. We talked about, like, Alien 3, right? The CGI bug at the beginning of it, or Alien 4, whatever one that is.
Yeah, it was 4.
The upper lip of Henry Cavill, that is, wow. That's one of the most distracting CGI uses I've ever seen in a movie. I didn't understand what they were talking about. I didn't know what was happening in the story because I was just looking at his upper lip.
Brad, what are your thoughts on this?
I don't give a shit about the Snyder cut of this movie. This movie sucked through and through. I don't think there's anything redeemable in this movie. Like, I get that you want the director's vision to be fulfilled, and I
people want to see
completely
Darkseid.
Yeah, I think that it's a good idea to give the director control of his own movie and put out his version that he wanted to put out. Do I care about that version of the movie? Hell no, because I hated Justice League so much. I hated Suicide Squad, and they put out an extended cut of that. Never watched that shit because I didn't even think there was anything redeemable about it. Like, I just don't care about what's happening in these DC movies. I liked Aquaman. I really liked Wonder Woman up until the third act. I loved Man of Steel. But all of the other ones in this series, I'm just kind of like, meh. Except Shazam. I liked Shazam, but it's kind of like, does Shazam exist in this same universe or not? Like,
Maybe.
like, I don't know. But I think it's just it's a universe in turmoil, and I don't really care to see anything other. Like, I personally, I don't really even care to see Aquaman 2.
Really?
I liked Aquaman, but there's not really anything that's making me want to rush out to see Aquaman 2 whenever it happens.
What if the octopus plays the guitar in this one?
Yes,
Instead of an
buying
octopus drummer.
Opening weekend.
I will see it if there's an octopus playing a guitar.
Bet.
I think Aquaman is the third best thing in the DCEU.
Okay.
I think Man of Steel is a masterpiece. I love Wonder Woman, and then I'll give it to Aquaman. I think James Wan did such an incredible job of taking a character that it took a complete revamp in the New 52 for people to even care about, and he brought that to life. This is the only performance that I actually like Amber Heard in. I think she's one of the worst actresses in Hollywood, and she only gets jobs because she's hot. She's actually good in Aquaman, and I'm like, holy shit, James Wan actually got a good performance out of her. So I had a lot of fun. I can't wait for Aquaman to... I want to see the Snyder Cut. I want to. I just don't see WB paying for it.
Yeah.
It might happen. What do you guys think? Do you think it might show up on like HBO Max at some point? Like, what do you guys think?
I think that I've learned through this whole story and all of the developments of the Snyder Cut thing I am expecting them at any point to actually release it, because I thought this was dead so long ago, and I thought it was over, and then Momoa came out and was like, I saw it, and there's some finished stuff in it, and it was great. And then it exploded from there, and then now we see all these actors posting, release the Snyder Cut. So I think that we'll see it at some point. I think we'll see a version of the Snyder Cut at some point.
Brad, what do you think?
I don't know. We don't know how much of it is finished. I mean, there have been extended versions of movies released with like storyboard scenes in them. I think that would probably be the most likely thing.
Yeah, because the dark side scenes, they're not done.
Yeah.
The visual effects were not done for them. So who's paying for it?
And I would rather see a storyboard scene than see like some of the deleted scenes on Endgame, like that rocket, like the rocket that just kind of like hovers around and everything. He's fucking terrifying looking.
Yeah, it's haunting.
I would way rather see a storyboard than unfinished CG.
Yeah, like I said, I'll keep saying it. I want to see it. I don't want people to think just because I'm shitting on the idea and shitting about all of these different things that I don't want to see the movie. I want to see the fucking Snyder Cut. I wanted to see a Justice League movie directed by Zack Snyder. I want that movie. It's just who's paying for it. If they crowdsource it, are all of these people putting in these hashtags? Are you going to pay for it? Who's going to distribute it? Are you paying for the distribution and the licensing? Who's doing this stuff? It's not as simple as, oh, just release it. Why can't you just release it? There's a lot of variables that us as fans are just not taking into account because we just want what we want. But like I said before, think about it from WB's perspective. All you've done is shit on every movie that they've made for how many years. What do they stand to gain? If it's good, right? Let's say they put it on HBO Max and it's good. And then everyone's going to bitch about and say like, well, why wasn't this released the first time? Why did you bother hiring Joss Whedon and giving us this piece of shit that we had to sit through and spend our money on in theaters? They're just going to bitch about that. And then if it's not good, then they're going to say, well, now you just wasted a bunch of money on this stupid fucking Snyder Cut and no one wants to see it. And then it'll end up in some streaming service that is just free with ads that no one gives a shit about. Like, to me, it's a waste. I don't see any reason that WB can find that would be beneficial for them besides just making fans happy, and we know that's a very difficult thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially with DC fans, more than maybe any other fan group. It's hard to make DC fans happy.
Yeah, it's very hard to make them happy. I just don't see the point in it. Just keep moving forward. You're starting to make really good movies. I'm really excited for Wonder Woman 1984.
Yes,
I'm
I am
really excited for Aquaman 2. Like, give me more of what you're doing. I don't need everything to be connected. They're proving that they're able to make really good standalone movies. The multiverse exists. Just play within the multiverse. Each of these takes place somewhere within the multiverse. This is the take on these characters. Take it for what it is and just leave it and just make money. Aquaman made $1 billion fucking dollars. Wonder Woman almost made $1 billion. Shazam did okay. It did enough money. I think it made like close to $400 million or
I think
a
it made
little bit
half
more
a
than that.
billion.
Did it?
Yeah.
I mean, it made enough money. You know what I mean? Like they're on a really good track with these films. Just keep moving in that direction. But that's all I have to say about Release the Snyder Cut. Did you guys have anything else you wanted to bring up?
Not really.
Yeah, no, I don't really have any other thoughts on it.
Was there any news that we missed that you guys wanted to go over? Anything that I didn't put on the show notes?
Andy Serkis cast as Alfred.
Yes,
in the
officially
Batman.
confirmed. I can't fucking wait.
I
This is
am
gonna be awesome.
so excited about this casting. Andy Serkis just disappears into every role that he plays, and he's one of probably the best motion capture actor that we've ever had. But then he shows up in these other movies and does just as good of a job as he does in a mocap suit.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to see what his take on Alfred is and see how that fits into this new project.
Yeah, that's been confirmed. Matt Reeves has not confirmed Colin Farrell, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Colin Farrell as well, yeah.
I think he'd be awesome in this movie as Penguin.
Yeah.
I think he would bring something really cool to the role, because Penguin is so much more than what he looks like. And that's why I fucking hate the Burton movies, because Tim Burton doesn't get these characters at all. I don't think he gets them at all, and Matt Reeves will actually do something interesting with Oswald Cobblepot as a person and as the Penguin character, and I think Colin Farrell would kill it. Blake, what do you think?
Oh, this movie is going to be incredible. This cast is out of this world. Matt Reeves is awesome. He knows how to make comic book movies. Dude's a great director. I'm super excited for this. This is the most excited I've been for a Batman casting, because I've seen him in so many different independent movies. He's done after Twilight, all these darker independent movies. He's made such good choices, and he is one of the strongest, most underrated actors, and so many people are going to see how great he truly is in this movie.
One thing on that topic of Robert Pattinson, he was in a Actors on Actors interview with Jennifer Lopez, and he said what I've been saying for years. He was up for the role of Batman. He was in talks with WB while Ben Affleck and the crew of Justice League were doing promo for that film at Comic-Con.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how long he's been in talks with WB. And I've been telling people, Ben is out. He is done. After Justice League, he's done. And everyone's like, no, just listen to what he said at Comic-Con. He would be an ape for Matt Reeves. He'll get on all fours for Matt Reeves. I'm like, guys, do not follow this PR bullshit. He is fucking lying to you. WB and the people that they had in place at that time promised Ben Affleck so many different things. He was going to direct Justice League. He was going to direct a trilogy of Batman movies. He was going to be a producer for the DCEU going forward. And they fucked it. They changed plans. They canceled things. As a business person, I would not want to work with these people, especially after the reason why you got me in the suit in the first place, to do all of these different producing things, directing things, and then you completely fuck me over. I don't want to be in it anymore. I knew he was out the moment that he finished filming Justice League. I knew he was done, and everyone's paying attention to the stupid PR bullshit, just falling for all of this crap that WB's talking about. I'm like, nope, he's out. He's been out, and this proves it.
Yep. I think if you watch Justice League, mentally he was out at the starting of filming Justice League. He was done. You could see it the whole time on his face during it.
Yeah, he was completely checked out. Like, what do you guys think?
Oh yeah, I think he was done with it long before the camera started rolling on that one.
Yeah, he was reluctant to be Batman, and Kevin Smith has talked about how he was reluctant to do it, but then they promised him the directing, and he loves directing so much more than he likes acting, and he's so much better at it than he is at acting. That's why he did it. They fucked him over. I don't blame him for being mad and then not ever wanting to work with them again. I wouldn't blame him if he would just say no to WB movies.
I mean, he's still working with them. His new trailer came out, The Way Back, which looks phenomenal.
It looks so
by the way,
good.
By the director of The Accountant. So he's doing
Warrior.
Yeah, he's doing work with WB, but it's just like the people that were over the DCEU. I'm so glad that they're gone. I'm so glad that there's a new president and they're actually moving in a new direction and a better direction. Blake, it looks like you had something you wanted to bring up.
Yeah, well, I just clicked on the news page on IMDb, and apparently Christian Bale says that WB and Christopher Nolan came to him with an idea for a fourth Batman movie, and he said no.
Interesting.
Wow.
Like, Nolan actually...
A fourth Nolan movie that was in the works from Christopher Nolan and Warner Brothers that was going to take place immediately after The Dark Knight Rises.
Oh, wow. Because, I mean, I remember Nolan and Christian Bale talking about, they were only going to do 3. They're not even thinking about a 4th. That's insane. I mean, I know why Bale will say no.
I mean, yeah. I don't even understand how that would make sense story-wise. Didn't he die at the end?
Well, we don't know. It's up to interpretation, really.
Yeah.
He's Batman.
I interpret it as him dying, and then Alfred was just imagining him in there.
I do too, but you could just say that he's Batman, and he was able to fix the autopilot. He was able to get out in enough time to somehow escape a nuclear explosion. But he's Batman. It's
Maybe
a comic
he used
book movie.
a car door like Dominic Toretto does.
That's crazy, though.
Yeah, that's wild.
This was a lot of fun to do this. If you guys can't tell, I have been really sick over the past couple of days. I'm glad that we were able to get to do these episodes. Starting to feel just a little bit better. I'm glad to be doing the podcast again. It's always so much fun. Brad, Blake, thank you guys so much for joining me on this episode.
It's always good to be here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, you guys can follow us all over social media at C4 Spoilers. You can find all of the articles that we do, all the podcasts that we do, all on carefulforspoilers.com. Brad and Blake are going to be starting up their new podcast, You've Got to See This. That's going to be, we're recording the first episode this week. Not sure when we're going to release it just yet, but keep your eyes peeled for that. It's going to be the 3rd official show on the Careful for Spoilers podcast network, and I am so fucking excited to get started, you guys.
Yeah, I'm super excited. We're going to be talking about the best movies to see in theaters and the best movies to watch at home. So tackling movies on streaming and on Redbox and on digital rentals, as well as what's playing in the theaters today.
Yeah, man, I'm really excited. I've ever since I first heard my first podcast, which was the Smodcast, ever since I heard Kevin Smith talking into a microphone explaining what a podcast was, I was like, I want to do that, and I want to have one that I can call my own. So I'm really excited.
Yeah, I'm beyond excited. I can't wait to help you guys build this and make it into your own thing. It's going to be so much fucking fun. Guys, thank you so much for listening. I really do appreciate you guys that tune in every single week for all of our different podcasts. Those of you that interact with us on social media, I appreciate it so much, and I love you guys. So we will see you guys on the next episode.